Welcome to the world of the NIW, where the details of your proposed endeavor can mean the difference between approval and denial. But let's challenge some common beliefs about the proposed endeavor. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Stefanakorli, and I'm here to do for you what so many people have done for me throughout the years, and that is to provide important information that could maybe change a life or two. Now, if you're starting an NIW case and you need help, reach out to me. My law firm helps people from start to finish when it comes to the NIW case. Contact information is in the description. Let's break down the Danazar framework. After all, it is the cornerstone to understanding how to get the national interest waiver. If you don't understand Danazar, I don't know what you're doing. The first prong requires that you show that your proposed endeavor has substantial merit and national importance. And I should put national importance in quotation marks because it is a term of art that doesn't mean exactly what it at first glance appears to mean. But this investigation into whether the proposed endeavor is nationally important is really an investigation into what the impact of the proposed endeavor will likely be. Local, immediate, or possibly much more widespread. But more on this focus later. The second prong looks at whether you, the petitioner, are well positioned to advance the proposed endeavor. Here, USCIS looks at your background or more. For instance, it might look at the thoroughness of your plan or steps you've already taken. The third prong is a balancing test. It requires that you show on balance that waiving the job offer and thus the labor certification requirement is on balance better for the US than it would be for the US if the US decided to keep the job offer and labor certification requirements in place. If you satisfy these three prongs, you'll likely have a strong NIW case. But if you fail to satisfy even one of them, you won't have a viable case. Okay, let's go back to the first prong and talk about a common problem that people face when they are trying to satisfy it. And then we'll talk about one less than commonly known way that people can fix the problem. When it comes to the first prong, the challenge that a lot of people face is demonstrating national importance. It is one of the most imposing hurdles in an NIW case for many people. In practice, many cases are denied because a petitioner fails to show that her work will have an impact that extends beyond a small group, a small localized group of beneficiaries. Whether that be a group of individuals, or a group of companies, or a group of clients, or a group of employees. Consider an example of a teacher. While an elementary school teacher might positively affect 30 students each year, or maybe a college professor who affects 300 students each year, the impact of teaching is often seen by USCIS as too localized, too restricted, too confined. USCIS such contributions, or the plans, the proposed endeavor to make such contributions that a teacher typically makes, it does not cross the national importance threshold. An illustration of this comes from the Danazar case, the case that is the only case precedent when it comes to NIWs. In that case, the petitioner was an aerospace engineer and also a university professor. And he sought to continue his work in both research and teaching. Those were his two proposed endeavors. USCIS determined that his teaching activities would not satisfy the national importance requirement. Those teaching activities mainly affected just his students. That was too confined, too limited of an impact. However, his research work, which focused on developing advanced propulsion systems and conducting aerospace engineering studies, well, that was enough to satisfy the national importance requirement. It was recognized as having significant potential to transform an industry. In short, while the teaching activities were too narrowly focused, the research activities had the potential to have a broader impact. To succeed, your proposed endeavor should be framed in a way that shows its benefits extend beyond local boundaries. Now, there are a couple of well-trodden ways to show national importance. The two most common ways are to show an impact or influence on a field, that's one, and two, to show a substantial positive economic impact. But there are some other ways as well to show national importance. Now let's talk about one under-recognized way. You can show national importance by showing the cultural impact of your proposed endeavor. As a matter of fact, let's look at a recent case. In this case, a petitioner stated that she would continue to work as a head of school at a school that taught indigenous languages. That was one proposed endeavor. And by the way, it was the only school in her region where indigenous languages were taught to children. And also, by the way, it was taught through a curriculum she designed. In another proposed endeavor, she stated that she would continue to oversee another school that taught indigenous languages to residents. She also asserted that she would continue her involvement as a community leader and a volunteer in certain nonprofit organizations. These proposed endeavors focused on cultural enrichment and keeping indigenous languages alive and thriving, hopefully. Initially, USCIS found that she did not establish that her proposed endeavors were nationally important, but she appealed the case. In the appeals court, the AAO decided that she did show national importance through culture, not through impact on the field, not through economic arguments, through an impact on culture. She showed that she was building a bridge between a new generation and indigenous traditions. This case exemplifies how cultural endeavors, arguments related to culture, can elevate proposed endeavors, even proposed endeavors that are related to education and teaching, to proposed endeavors that are not too localized. Even though all of this teaching was happening within one region, she showed a broader impact of cultural enrichment. That is an under-recognized way to show national importance. To wrap up, the Danazar framework requires that petitioners satisfy 3 prongs. The first of which requires that a proposed endeavor has national importance. It presents a challenge that requires one to show that the impact of the proposed endeavor will be broad. And establishing national importance is often the toughest hurdle insofar as the Danazar prongs are concerned. Here we looked at a less than commonly known strategy to satisfy the national importance requirement. For many people, it's a strategy that they should keep in the forefront of their mind as an option. Now, if you have an NIW case and you need help with it, you're just starting the case and you need help, reach out to me. My law firm helps people with NIW cases from start to finish. And if you found this video to be helpful or interesting, maybe surprising, maybe entertaining, don't forget to subscribe because there will be more videos like this on the way.